setting up a guest session on riverside.com. Okay, so you're in the session area. So you can go to home. Like this is where you'll probably land. Home meaning where your other things are that you have recorded before, whether they're solo episodes or whether this is the first time that you've opened up Riverside. Maybe you won't have anything in there. You're going to have a guest on your show and you're going to record it using Riverside. And so there's just a few things that you can set up and make it more seamless for yourself. So if you go over here and go schedule, you can actually, and this is on a free plan version of Riverside at this point. So I'm just going to go and schedule an event and I'm going to go new session. Make sure you give it a good name. So something that makes sense for the session. So let's say it's, Pump Up Your Pod. That's my podcast name. And the guest name. So Julie, and then the date, 2nd of Feb. Okay. So that it's really clear to you later and anyone else that may be going into your session, like your producer or something, this is the right thing to enter, okay? So you're going to put in a date, and let's say it was actually for the 5th, so that wouldn't be today, would it? So 5th, and you're going to put in a time, okay? So scheduling ahead of time, let's say it's going to be 2 p.m. and it's going to go for an hour, 3 p.m., your time zone is fine. And then if there's a guest that you can actually invite straight away and then they'll get an email invite, then you can absolutely put that in there. So for this, I'm just going to go audio at bambymedia.com so that I get a notification email so you can see that from that side. And then our podcast recording session, looking forward to it. So for an actual podcast recording, we would have more notes here. We have a document that we send through to anyone that's going to be a guest, and it just gives them some tips, like make sure your lighting is good, make sure you're facing a window, make sure you have a microphone if you can and use that microphone, etc. Giving them tips about relaxing and how to ground themselves so that they're ready for a recording, etc. So we send them stuff like that in a separate email. And you can also just put in there, more instructions to follow or something if you want. The other advanced stuff like pre-recorded content, if you wanted to put like an intro or something in at the front of it, audience registration, if you're wanting to have other people join you, so it's like a live recording, you could do that there. And also, if you're wanting to hook it up with a live stream destination like YouTube or something like that, then you can certainly do that via those methods here. Okay, so then you can just hit create session. You can then go to the Google Calendar and just actually add it into your Google Calendar if you like, which is fine. And then also we can check the email that the person receives on the other end, just so that you can see what it would look like for them when you actually add them to a session. So we'll go to the calendar and can see it's giving you the actual link, the calendar invite link, and you can copy that in like that, and you could paste it into another email if you want, if you were giving them like a separate email that's here's all the information about this booking that we've made and etc. But if you're not planning on sending them another email, you can just have this calendar invite that is sent through to them as well. You can add them as a guest over here, and you could add the extra information into this bit too, so that they're aware what else there needs to be happening for upcoming episode that you're recording with them. Okay. Once you've done that, you hit save, and then they will be added as a guest and they will get a calendar invitation as well. They're actually going to receive two things. So if I put this in here at Audio Bamby, okay, so they're going to get, and you're not going to allow Google Meet because it's a Riverside session, so you definitely don't want to confuse people with that. I'm going to just copy down that link there, and you can change that information if you want. Okay, I'm going to hit save. And then, yes, you can see in here now we've received this email. So this is the one that's come straight from Riverside. And it said, we're inviting you to a guest recording session. And you can actually hit yes there. Okay, and it's going to actually populate two versions of the same calendar invite. This is the link that they will then use to join the session on the time and date that you've pre-planned and organized. Okay, so that's that one. Well, they've also received a separate one here in this format, okay, that also says yes, that has this information. So you see how like having two of them is a little bit redundant. You don't need to do both of those things. You don't need to put it in as a calendar invite necessarily as well, because Riverside has already sent them that other one as well. If for whatever reason you forgot to put an email address in when you were doing the actual session thing, then you can create a calendar invite like this, add to Google Calendar, and then add them that way. The calendar invite also just has the location there as well. So that's the link to the actual studio. And then that will all be organized for them. And they will be happily joining on the date and time that it is scheduled in for. Now let's pretend that the session, it is the day and it is the time when you're going to have your recording session. Okay, so you can actually just go start session. Now I don't have my camera hooked up at the moment here at Bamby Media, just because we're going through a studio upgrade, which is very exciting. So I won't be able to share my face with you today, but you can see the rest. So if it's the first time, you're going to need to allow the permissions. And in this case, we don't have much to play with here, okay? So I'm just going to go allow while visiting this site. I have OBS hooked up, but you would have a different camera. Okay, so your camera might be a webcam, or it might be another thing that you've got hooked up, like a Sony ZV-E10 or some sort of DSLR. It could be a Canon utility, whatever your camera is, you would select it there. And then the actual microphone that you're using as well. Then this here would be the speakers. So you would be selecting headphones, okay? You need to have headphones on. This is the best way to, I'll just hit allow here. This is the best way to have the highest quality audio coming out for the production afterwards. If you don't have headphones in, then Riverside does its best to like control the background noise from the speakers, but it's not great, and please try and avoid it. So I am using headphones, yes, and then I go join studio. This is exactly the same thing that the guest will come to. This screen will look the same for them. They'll need to put their name in. They need to select what they're going to select here, and also select a camera and a microphone and this. So if you can tell your guests as well, hey, FYI, please have headphones, that's ideal. If they don't have headphones, that's a little bit annoying, but you can deal with it. It's okay, I suppose. The microphone, if they don't have a microphone, please, for the love of God, don't let them use their Apple AirPods as the microphone source, because the quality of that is so atrocious. It makes me so sad. So if it has to be like they don't have anything else, then it's just the like MacBook built-in sort of microphone that's there. That's better still than the Apple AirPods. Once you have that selected, then you can just hit join studio. And as you know, I won't be able to have anything here. Okay. But they would also hit join studio. And then over on the right here, you can see your settings. So you can see echo cancellation is turned off. Okay. That's turning it on. You would only have it turned on if you didn't have headphones. Okay. And there's some other things that we can see here, like if you needed to change your microphone or your camera or anything after the fact, then you can do that in here. You also want to get them to check their level. So when they're talking into their microphone or into the MacBook microphone or whatever it is that they're using, their wired headphones, etc., if it's going red, okay, then it's too loud. If it's red here, green is great, orange is fine, red is bad. If it's red, they need to turn whatever their audio recording device is, they need to turn it down. They can turn it down from here, okay, and you can see it will start to get smaller and smaller, the little green thing. See, it's sort of just there now, it's just tiny. And then as we go up, it will increase the volume further there as well. Okay, that's a really important thing to check. Where is that green line? Is the green line going well? Is it yellow or red? If it's yellow, we're okay. Red is bad and something needs to be turned down there. If they have, for whatever reason, trouble and they can't click on the link and it's not getting through to them, then you have it here as well. You can just copy the link once you're actually in the session and then you're ready to go. So that's all good. You will also see them here, like under yourself, you'll also see them, and you can see what quality you're recording in. And you can see here it's 1080p for this one. Again, I don't have anything hooked up. Mine would normally be 4K. 1080p is the recommended at least, because that's just the best quality to start with. If it's less than that and it's 720p, I wouldn't not record with them, but it just means that the quality of the production on the output, like when you actually release the thing and you do the post-production and things, it's just not that great. It's just sort of low webcam quality, and it doesn't make it very good for getting snippets out of and things like that after the fact as well. So as much as possible, have the camera that you're using be the one that's going to give you the best quality actual on the outset there as well. If you have a guest who doesn't have a good quality setup and they can only get 720p and your setup is better than that and you can get 1080p or 4K, please still record your side in the highest possible. So use the best camera that you have, use the best lighting that you have, use the best of the best that you have, okay? Because it's better to have one side be great and the other side be not as great. That's way better than having both sides be mediocre. That will give you the best options there for the actual recording in the post-production phase to give you just a cleaner, more sparkly resolution there as well. Once you are ready, like they'll join you in here in the session and then you hit record. You absolutely need to make sure that you hit record. And it's very important to also run a test recording just to check that the levels are right. So if you run a test recording, that means it'll give you a little test that then you can listen back to first to see that it's okay. And then if it needs any further adjustments, you can do that before you actually start recording the full thing. So then you start recording and it's going to have more than just me here. It would have another person here as well. Okay. And then you would do your recording all the way through, making sure that you're definitely recording by this little thing up here, recording with the numbers there. Okay. And then once you're finished, the actual interview or whatever it is you're doing on Riverside, you just hit stop. You don't leave the studio at that point. Okay. The person that you're talking with there, they will need to stay on the line while the rest of it is processing, while the recording is getting uploaded. So you can see here it says up the top here already, upload complete. Now, when you stop recording, it's a good idea to just keep them on the line and just chat to them about how good the conversation was or whatever it is, so that they're still there. And then later, like in a couple of minutes, once you've done a bit of a wrap up, this thing should say upload complete. Before that, it will say like 80% uploaded or something like that. So just make sure that that has been cleared for both sides, because if they leave the session, they shut down their browser and it hasn't finished, then that's quite frustrating, because you have to then try and get a hold of them again later. You have to send them a particular link that then means that they have to go back to the same browser that they were using before with that link and then upload, like continue the upload. So you see how that's kind of annoying. Recordings have been lost as a result of that. So it's best to just keep an eye on what this is doing up here and then making sure that it's all uploaded completely. Now, if they have to get off straight away and you can't keep them on the line, that's okay. You just have to tell them, hey, completely understand, yeah, you have to head off right now, no problem, but please leave the browser open so that it can continue to upload. So you can still hit leave, but you just leave the browser open and it will continue to upload in the background so that everything is captured. So we're going to leave the session now and we're going to go end session for all. That will boot everyone off that was in the recording session with you. Then it's going to bring you back to here. So made for you is the stuff that Riverside like AI creates, which I don't rate very highly, and it does these magic clips that, again, I'm not really a fan of. Being a post-production editor, I don't think they're very good, but that's a whole other video. But they do try, okay? So that's the made for you stuff. That's not really what you need to be concerned with potentially. It's this here. If you go to recordings, then you'll be able to see both sides. Like, okay, there's one of me and then there's one of the guest as well. Now, if that's as far as it goes, and then you've got a post-production editor like us here at Bamby Media doing the actual editing, then that's great. That just means that we can see both of these things are in here now, and we will be able to actually download them once they've processed and they're ready to be downloaded. So that can be that's all you need to do from this point, is that you can share this as well if you want to, like just share the link to that particular session if you're sharing it with an editor. Otherwise, the step after this is going into the actual editing screen where you can start to edit the video if that was something that you were doing yourself. And so that would be a separate tutorial on how to edit using Riverside, which again, I'm not a huge fan of, and I have done a review of that, which you can certainly have a look at on YouTube as well. Okay, so just to recap, it's not a particularly hard thing to set up. It is best if you schedule it in ahead of time, if you give it a time and date, if you send them through a calendar invite, if you also send them through some instructions about how to be a good guest and what's involved with that and all that sort of thing. We have a PDF that we send through to our clients and to our guests, anyone that we're having on Riverside. We send them something so that they are aware ahead of time, especially if they've never been on something before. So making sure that you're making them feel really comfortable with the fact that you're going to be doing a recording with them, that you've given them plenty of notice, that you've given them the right times in the right time zone, and ensuring that you have let them know that to get the best possible recording, we want to have good lighting on their faces, we want to have a quiet room, and we want to have the best camera that we can as well. So audio and video really matter. Audio is going to be more important than video, as in people will be okay with a lesser quality video, but if the audio sounds bad, they will switch it off. Statistically, that is what happens. So if you can focus on one thing only, then that's the thing that you should focus on. But hopefully that was a really good little tutorial there for you on explaining how to actually invite a guest, set it all up in the back end of Riverside, and making sure that everything is ready to go for them, and you will have a really good quality session out of that. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment if you have any other questions around recording in Riverside with guests, anything else you'd like to know, and I will do my best to get back to you on that.